Hello, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, hi, what's up? I'm Gemma and I'm a senior UX designer who shares tips about UX for free. If that's something you're interested in, then why don't you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. In January 2021, I started a new design career in the second UK lockdown. This is something that I have never experienced. I mean, I've started new jobs before, but I've never started a new role during a lockdown. So when you start a new role, it's always really fun, you get to meet new people, and you start to build connections with your new team members. But in a lockdown, the usual hustle and bustle of an office is missing. This has been a crazy experience, and I thought I'd share some tips with you of what I learned in my first week in a new design role. Okay, first up is to make sure you are there at your desk early. The reason I say this is because you have no idea what could actually go wrong. I mean, technology likes to crash, maybe you can't log in. There's always a good impression to be there first at your desk, waiting to start. If you're early, it shows that you care and you're prepared. My second point would be to have your camera on and show your face. Not everyone likes to have their camera on. I mean, you're in your own home environment, maybe you don't feel your best that day, but it's your first day on the job and it's always good to let your team members know who you are and just show your face so they can put a face to the name. This is more of the best impression you're going to get with a face-to-face interaction, because this is the only kind of face-to-face interaction that can happen when you're working remotely. It's not like you're in the office environment where you can have your personality come across and let people get to know you. The only way people can get to know you is by having your camera on so they can see your face. My third tip would be to add in meetings with people across the whole organisation. If you were in an office environment, you would pretty much just see these people as you're walking around the office, and you'll get to know these people when you're making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. But when you're working remotely, you don't have that opportunity. So it's a good idea to add in some meetings so you have a nice friendly discussion about what their role entails during the organisation and what you can do to help, and just get to know the business model a little bit more. And this leads on to my next tip, which is open up and create conversations. This is kind of the same as my previous point, but it's always good to try and get to know people on a personal level and get to know them outside of their job roles. Start off by asking about their hobbies and interests and try and make new friends. Ask about information to do with the business. Starting off as a UX designer, it's always good to know some customer insights or maybe some user insights, anything that you can get to understand the business model and understand what the users want. Ask to see if they have any data that you can digest. Try and soak in as much information as you can during your first week. Again, these are all things that we take for granted when we're in the office environment, because these are things that you will normally get when just having simple conversations with people. Ask for access to UAT sites. It's a really good idea to get a grasp of the new product that you will be working on, and it's always good to ask for test environments so you can have a little play around with the systems without any implications that you may break something or give false data on the live site. This will give you a good understanding of how the product and the business all links together. Remember, this is something that you will be working on in the near future. See if you can point out any little mistakes that's in there and some things that you could maybe improve. The last one will probably only apply to UK citizens, but make sure you hand in that P45. The one part when starting a new job is to make sure that all your HR documents are in order. And this is something which we take for granted when we're in an office environment, because finance or HR will come up to you and ask for these type of documents. They're not always aware of new starters depending on the communication within the company. So if you have your P45 handy, make sure you hand that in to HR or ask someone who you can hand it into, because you don't want to end up with the old emergency tax, because nobody wants that when starting a new job. And this applies as well for all the other HR documents. You need to hand in your bank details and information about yourself, your next of kin, anything to do with HR. Make sure you're on top of it. Don't forget about it, because you really need to fill this stuff in. If you don't know who to talk to, then just ask your manager and ask them to direct you to the right point of contact and who you need to speak to. Everything else then will pretty much go plain smoothing after that. And that's it. That is what I learned in my first week of starting a new role during a lockdown. And I guess this applies for anyone who's working remote in general. I know the majority of the world is probably working remote right now. but I know pretty much all of the UK are still remote, and we're going to be remote for the foreseeable future, so all of these things should apply to you depending on wherever you're starting in a new role. This doesn't actually just apply to UX designers, it applies to everyone. So if you found this video interesting, or if you have anything else that you'd like to add, then please let us know in the comments below, and let me know if this video's helped you out. It's always good to know if these videos are helping people out, and it gives me some really good feedback as well, so I know which videos I can make in the future. And last but not least, if you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to get notified every time I upload a new video. If you want to follow me over on Instagram, you can do so here. And until next time, bye!